Hello, and welcome to Channel 24's podcast studio. I am here in the studio with special guests Irene Kelly, Crystal Allen, and Dr. Allen. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Thanks for having us.
Now, what exactly is the special event that you are going to be putting together?
Rockabilly Boogie Fest is a concert that ASU Museum is going to hold at the ASU Department of Military Science, which is the old ASU Armory at ASU, on Saturday, March 2nd, starting at 6 o'clock. This is a concert that's all about rockabilly. We're celebrating rockabilly. We've got 4 regionally acclaimed bands coming. Narvel Feltz, a big name, Sonny Burgess and the legendary Pacers, Stan Perkins, and the Stunning Cunning Band.
Now, where will this concert be held?
It will be held at the Department of Military Science, which is more commonly known here in Jonesboro as the old ASU Armory. It's at 1921 Aggie Road in Jonesboro.
Now, when you're talking about the concert, what is basically the purpose of the concert, or where are the proceeds going?
The purpose of this concert is to promote the rich rockabilly history of our region, and it is also a fundraiser for ASU Museum. All proceeds will be going to a new exhibition on rockabilly that will be put in place at the ASU Museum. If we get all the money that we need, it will, as soon as we get this money, it will open probably in 2016 is our drop dead date on that. So we're hoping for. This exhibition is tentatively entitled Rockabilly, the Northeast Arkansas Story of a Music Sensation. It's going to have sections on what is rockabilly. Many people don't agree on what rockabilly is. It's going to tell us when rockabilly began and when it ended. Of course, actually, it never did really end because there's this thing called the Rockabilly Revival, which went on in Europe and the United Kingdom for decades. We'll be having a section on the Northeast Arkansas independent labels that put out records, such as the Vaden label in Truman. And we'll have a section on Joe Lee, who founded Variety Recording Studio here in Jonesboro on the corner of Church and Monroe. Now, Joe himself is a jazz person, but he had great influence on and nurtured many young musicians who went on to make great names for themselves in the music business, including such people as Bobby Lee Trammell, who did Arkansas Twist in 1963, and that was the first song that Joe Lee put out when he opened. Now, this is a ticketed event, I should say, and one can get their tickets by going to the ASU box office, or you can go to the museum's webpage, which is astate.edu/museum, or to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ASU Museum. And if I may, I would really like to put out a huge thank you to our sponsors, East Arkansas Broadcasters, Suddenlink, KASU, Kavanaugh Hyundai, and Cromwell Architects Engineers of Jonesboro.
Well, when you were talking about the Rockabilly Boogie Fest, what are some of the things that you were going to be showcasing in the exhibit?
Okay, the exhibit itself, in addition to having some of those things I mentioned already, such as a section on Joe Lee and the labels, the independent labels here in Northeast Arkansas, I think I might not have mentioned that we'll have children's hands-on exhibits as well, so that children will be able to approach a keyboard and push a button which gives you a rockabilly formula and change any song they might invent there into a rockabilly song. We will also talk about the origins and dissemination of rockabilly in our region. A very important thing about rockabilly for us, and which is why we really want to celebrate it here in Jonesboro, is that It persisted here in Northeast Arkansas long after it was passe in the American mainstream music scene. And because it persisted here in Northeast Arkansas, when the Beatles came through in the early 60s, they heard this music and were greatly influenced by it. John Lennon once said that if it hadn't been for Elvis Presley, there wouldn't be anything. So it was really very important influence on their music, and the British invasion took rockabilly over to Europe, where it settled in and became just all the rage. And for decades, it's been all the rage. And finally, it's come full circle. At the end of the 1990s, it came back to the United States, and now you can have rockabilly weekends in Las Vegas and New York, Coney Island, Chicago, and so forth. And we're going to have one here, a big Jonesboro Rockabilly weekend.
I think that is really neat to be able to bring that rich history to Jonesboro. Now, can you explain to me kind of what types of music that will be?
Well, at the concert, it will be all rockabilly. And the exhibition itself will also be celebrating rockabilly. So it's going to be all rockabilly music. We're going to be featuring rockabilly artists that grew up here in Northeast Arkansas. So Bobby Lee Trammell, Billy Lee Riley, there's a whole list of them. It would be amazing how many. It's amazing if you haven't followed rockabilly very closely, to see how many important rockabilly stars came out of our region. Now, rockabilly does owe quite a debt to blues and rhythm and blues, western swing, and country. So in our exhibition, we will be showing how rockabilly owes a great debt to these earlier music forms as well.
Now, I understand that there's a downtown component to this Rockabilly Boogie Fest, because there's Rockabilly Boogie Fest and then there's Jonesboro Rockabilly Weekend. Irene, could you kind of give me a gist of description on exactly what the Jonesboro Rockabilly Weekend is?
Sure. I'd like to first thank Dr. Allen and the Arkansas State University for inviting the downtown to work with them on this weekend. For the Downtown Rockabilly Weekend, we have events starting on Thursday night and running through Saturday night, which would involve local bands at the local restaurants, as well as Saturday at 3 p.m. We're going to kick off a poker run from the parking lot on Union Street, which will wind its way down Main and throughout Jonesboro, ending on the ASU campus at the Armory.
Now, what are the types of music that will be featured in this Rockabilly Weekend?
I'm going to throw that over to Crystal. She would have the lineup for us.
Crystal, why don't you explain to me kind of the types of music that will be showcased during this weekend? I know you've been working really close to some of the bands.
We're going to have everything it's kind of like a rock and roll hillbilly, music. We have a lot of blues stuff. I can give you the lineup of the bands if you'd like.
Okay.
Arkansas Brothers will be playing, Delta Blues Aces, Staroy, Burning Waco. We'll also have a venue that's going to do karaoke. Vicky McGee and Plain Meanness will also be playing that weekend, and the Flatland Funk Donors.
Now,
a lot of really exciting bands.
Oh yeah, that'll be really, brings people out to be able to listen to some good music and enjoy their time down on Main Street. Now, I understand that you guys have actually worked hand in hand with the Jonesboro Jet Service. Now, exactly what kind of transportation will be available during the event?
We all know that there's a parking issue downtown, so we've worked closely with the City and the Jets route to provide a bus system from the ASU campus to the downtown stop on Huntington. They can park catty corner to the Armory on the ASU campus and loop downtown. It will run from 4:30 p.m. on Saturday until 12:30 a.m.
Well, I just wanted to say a big thank you to you ladies for being in the studio today. This event sounds really exciting. I guarantee you'll hopefully have a great turnout.
Yeah.
You guys have done a great job.
We're excited as well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And thank you for watching Channel 24.